I'm so mad. I always thought it was cold as hell, not cold as hail, but it's cold as hail. It doesn't make sense. Life is ruined, guys. Let's get into it. Let's talk about your aim. Let's talk about your accuracy, all that kind of stuff in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to make you better. Now, there's 5 misconceptions we're going to be talking about that people just don't really quite understand, and they might think the opposite when trying to aim down sights and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into it. We're going to hop into a random private match here. We're going to make our own. We're going to do it whatever we got to do. Probably set it to like some random map, and I'm going to show you guys some cool things. If you guys are lazy or don't have time to unlock all the camos in Black Ops 6, check out MMOEXP. They'll do it for you. They'll get it all done, and they even have double XP tokens and double weapon XP tokens for you guys to get. Check out the link down in the description below. So the first thing I want to talk about is Rotational Aim Assist. If you're sitting here pointing down sights, aiming down sights, and not doing anything, you're playing the game wrong, because your aim assist is not actually going to break in or come in if an enemy runs by. What you want to do is just kind of move like this. As you can see, I'm not even removing my stick, and I started following that enemy right there. Oh man, that could have been so nice. As you guys can see right there, my aim assist is not tracking those enemies whatsoever. It's not even following them. It's not doing anything. So if you're sitting in a corner and you're just waiting for people to run by, you're not doing good. What you want to do is just move your left stick slightly, and this is going to actually activate your aim assist. So if I'm sitting here and I'm just moving my left stick slightly, let's try and find a better example. Hold up. But now with my rotational aim assist, it follows him without me. What is he doing? What's he doing? Yo, what is that bot doing? Right here, I'm not touching my aim assist whatsoever, and it's following the guy. It's just going and it's trying to stick onto him more than if I was just standing still. So that's something you got to work on. If you could get your rotational aim assist to be on point, once you start aiming and shooting at enemies, you'll pretty much hit them each and every single time. Man, get the Squid Games out of here, bro. Now guys, I wanted to ask you if you could leave me some random questions, anything you want to know about me down in the comments below. I'm not going to make a dedicated Q&A video, but I will be answering these questions in upcoming videos, maybe 1 or 2 per video, just to kind of like so you guys can get to know me a little more. Let me know those questions down in the comments below, literally whatever you want. Now the next one I want to talk about is field of view. A lot of people think that your field of view has to be really high or really low, and whatever you set your field of view to, it's going to actually change how you shoot in game, which is not the case. So I'm going to go ahead and take some shots here, and you guys are going to see that my aim assist is not going to change depending on my field of view. All right, I'm barely missing any shots here. I'm not really controlling the recoil, just to show you guys that these guns do have some recoil, and you guys are going to see there I missed a few. All right, so at 50 I start missing, the recoil starts kind of taking advantage, right? But if I were to go into my settings, which a lot of people think that if you do this you're going to actually mess it up and whatnot, and I was to put my field of view all the way up to 120, a lot of people think that putting it up to 120 is going to make your aim assist a lot weaker, which is not the case. If I'm actually shooting, it looks like I'm shooting a lot straighter, as you guys can see right there at 50 meters as well. It looks like I'm shooting a lot straighter, but that's only because of the fact that the field of view is a lot further. Everything does seem a lot further in game, so it makes it look like it's a little easier to control, which is not the case, but it might subconsciously be a little better for you to play higher, but it doesn't actually change the recoil whatsoever. Now a lot of people play on 90 or 80 and stuff, and they think that this right here is going to give you the best aim assist possible, which again, it's just going to make it look a little wild. It's going to make it look like it's kind of all over the place, but again, it's not different. There's no difference in 80 to 120. I actually will argue that 80 is better, because if I'm right here and I'm trying to like shoot at the enemies, I could align my crosshair so that when I ADS, I'm directly on them a lot easier. The character right here, this model of the character is so big on my screen because it's 80 that it's really, really easy to hit. So if I were to go up all the way to 120, and I was to go ahead and shoot at these guys, well, it's now a lot harder for me to aim at someone 25 meters out and ADS, because see, I might be missing. I might actually overshoot my shot. I'm trying to go for the guy in the middle there, and then finally I'm able to get in there. So I would argue that 120 is not really needed. I'm going to say somewhere around 100 is actually a nice spot, and I'm going to play on independent. This is actually really big. A lot of people play on affected because it does look nice, all right? When you play on affected, it does look really good. You go ahead, you shoot, you take your shots and whatever. But if we start getting into mid-range, which 25 meters is close range, it shouldn't even be considered mid-range, but if we start getting out to here and I'm playing on affected, well, right now it kind of just looks weird, right? He looks really far from me. He doesn't look close whatsoever. But if I were to go ahead and change this to independent, it's going to bring him a lot closer into my screen and make it a lot easier for me to track him if he's running around the map and moving and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say that you're going to want to play on independent instead of affected, and I just like it better. Now, once you get really good at aiming and stuff, you can switch this out to affected, or if you're trying to get good clips and whatnot, switch it out to affected because it looks nicer. I like independent. It's just easier to hit, especially if people are on head glitches and stuff. stuff and they're really far out and all you can see is their head, well, I'd rather bring it in this much than barely be able to see it and have a hard time shooting at it. Another thing that a lot of people have recently been telling me is that when they go into their controller settings and they play with their sensitivity here, they feel that a lower sensitivity here is better for you. And again, this has nothing to do with anything. The only thing that this sensitivity does when it comes to accuracy is how fast you could snap onto enemies. So if you like playing at 2.10 like I am, for example, or you like playing all the way up at 4, play wherever you want. I'm not going to tell you guys which one works for you, all right? If you like playing really low, again, you got to just think of the advantages and the disadvantages. If you're playing really low, some of the disadvantages might be that it's going to take a little longer to turn on people that are shooting at you, thus you're going to lose the gunfights. If you play a little too high, you might overshoot your shots. You might overshoot while turning around and trying to turn on someone and stuff. It just might be too quick for you. And then if you play somewhere balanced, well, you got the best of both worlds, but you also got the worst of both worlds as well. I'm going to say this is what I like, and I like to play at this right there. Now, the most important one when it comes to aiming is your actual custom sensitivity per zoom. And this one right here, I'm going to say you want to lower that. And the reason you want to lower this is because it does help out a lot. Once your sensitivity is lower while aiming down sights, it's going to be easier to hit those mid-range, those long-range. You're going to glue on the targets a lot easier. But when it gets to close range, again, this is not good. You actually want to be higher in close range because people move around this game really fast. So you kind of got to bite the bullet on that one and choose which one you prefer. Do you prefer close range or long range? I put it at 0.90 because I feel like I could still shoot people at close range by hip firing and stuff. So it works out in my favor. And another one is the aim response curve type, which I gave up on this. All right, guys, I don't notice much of a difference. If I'm being honest with you guys, linear, dynamic, there's not much of a difference to any of these. So I put it back to standard. At one point I was recommending linear, at one point I was recommending dynamic. If you guys notice a huge difference in this, I mean, all power to you, but I'm gonna say it's not placebo because there is a slight difference, but it's not that important. It's not as important as people make it seem, all right? It's really not. And if you like standard, cool. If you like linear, cool. If you like dynamic, cool. But I'm going to say, whichever one you play on, whatever you set this curve slope scale, the closer you go to 0, whether it's on linear or dynamic, the closer you go to 0, the closer it is to standard. So if I put linear, let's say all the way down to a 0 right here, I'm basically playing on standard. I could pretend I'm playing on linear, but my slope scale is at 0. So there's 0 towards linear, 0 slope scale towards linear. So I'm definitely on standard right there. But a lot of people, they seem to think that, well, I'm playing on a 20 linear. I'm really, really good. Dude, you're playing on standard. All right. The higher you are, the closer you are to linear. That's what I'm going to say. That's a misconception. Now, I really don't notice too much of a difference, at least in my gunfights. Now, one thing that I will say is this right here, gradual, instant, or after zoom. This is a big misconception as well. A lot of people think this helps aim assist. It doesn't help aim assist at all. This has nothing to do with aim assist, all right? If I'm shooting at an enemy, all right, I'm on gradual right now. So I'm aiming down sights. As I'm aiming on sights, that little animation from hipfire to full ADS is just slowing my sensitivity down from my 2.10 to where I play at when I'm ADSing to my 0.90, all right? So that's all it is. I'm going really fast here, and as I'm aiming on sights, it starts to slower it until I'm fully ADS, and that's where it becomes the 0.90. That's where my ADS sensitivity kicks in. If I were to have this up to instant, the second, before I even ADS, the second I click that button to ADS, it's just gonna lower it down, all right? So right away it just becomes slow. It goes to that 0.90 right away the second I hit it. Or if I were to go and put it to after zoom, then again, while I'm pressing it, nothing's changing. My sensitivity is still my regular sensitivity, and only once I fully transition into ADS, that's when my ADS sensitivity kicks in, all right? So I'm gonna say gradual for that one is the best, in my opinion. It's nice. It slowly turns into it. Think of it kind of like a fade on a haircut. It slowly changes, all right? That's what it is, and I like gradual. I think gradual is the best, at least for snapping on enemies and stuff like that. So that's my biggest thing right there. And the last thing I want to talk about, man, when you're in a gunfight in Black Ops 6, a lot of people think headshot is king, which for the most part it is, all right? Headshot is actually really good, but when I take a shot to the enemy and I shoot him on the chest, I'm doing 21 damage, for example, with the XM4, okay? We're gonna say it's around 21 damage, and then when you go for headshots, it only goes up to 24. So whether I'm going for headshots or whether I'm going for chest shots, it's still going to take 5 bullets to actually drop the enemy. 24, 24, 24, 24 is only 96, so I still need to hit another headshot in order to drop him. There's very few guns in this game where a headshot is going to do more than 25 damage. So you got to keep that in mind too. So what I always recommend, just in case you don't know the values of the bullets and stuff, when you're shooting at an enemy, For example, we're going to shoot at him right here if he comes back out. Well, he's crouched, so it's not going to work. But when you're shooting at an enemy, let's say it's her here, instead of aiming at the head and letting your recoil go all over the place and probably miss, aim at the chest. So if your recoil starts going up, you hit the head automatically, or if you start flinching from gunshots, you're going to flinch up to the head. Thanks, Haskins. What an annoying bot. Because if I'm in a gunfight with someone right here and I'm aiming at the head and then I flinch up, I'm going to shoot this guy. It's not going to work. But if I'm shooting at his chest and then I flinch up, bang, easy headshot, all right? Keep that in mind too, guys. Aim for the chest. It's the easiest part of the body to hit. Dude. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What? When did I get my knife out? I didn't even do that. It is what it is. All right, last thing I'm going to say, kind of like a little bonus one right here. A lot of people think, this is just really quick, this you should probably know already, but let's say you spot an enemy, which we're going to wait again to spot this guy, but let's say you spot an enemy, no matter what distance he's at, start shooting before you actually ADS, especially if they're up close or mid-range, okay? The reason you want to do that, again, is because if you see an enemy and you wait until you're fully ADS and locked onto him to shoot, he could shoot at you first, he could drop you really quickly and stuff. So what I like to do, and at least I think it works out a lot in my favor, is once I see an actual enemy, I just go for the hip fire. Why is a bot camping? That makes no sense. I just go for the hip fire as I'm ADSing right there. As you can see, the first shot I took, even though I wasn't ADS'd, it did hit him. So it does work out nicely. So hip fire and then ADS. And you should be able to get some pretty nice kills like that. But that's going to be it for the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And ask me any question you guys want down in the comments below. Like I said, I'm not going to make an actual dedicated Q&A video, but I do want to answer a lot of your questions. So within the next few videos, I will answer one at a time. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.